السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وإمام المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. There were a number of questions received, and inshallah ta'ala in these few moments we'd like to answer some of them. And inshallah ta'ala we'll try to answer these fiqh questions weekly basis, inshallah ta'ala. So many questions were about gold, buying gold online, investing in gold, as well as buying gold in installment. Inshallah ta'ala we'll try to break down this issue into a number of items. The first item is why the question is there. Some people might wonder, what's wrong with buying gold online? Isn't buying gold online is like buying any other item online? The answer is no. Simply for the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he says, الذهب بالذهب والفضة بالفضة إلى آخر الحديث إلى أن قال صلى الله عليه وسلم يدا بيد مثلا بمثل. When the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam spoke about 6 categories, one of them is gold, silver, and cash today goes under the gold and silver category. He says sallallahu alayhi wasallam يدا بيد مثلا بمثل, which means the same weight and in the spot, in the same time, instantly. You cannot buy gold and pay right now and receive the item next week or next month or in a few days or so on and so forth. So the hadith is very explicit. And there are so many reasons, because the gold value goes ups and downs, right? This is where the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says immediately you receive the cash and you hand the gold. Now people online, they purchase the gold and they receive the item later. So this is why the question is there. So it's not yadan biyad, it's not instantly receiving the item. So this is where the question is coming from. The concern is legitimate, and I would like to say, as well as we are trying to inshallah ta'ala understand the modern challenges, and the Maliki school, unlike the 4 madhahib, the only school that is more flexible when it comes to financial transaction. So according to Hanafi school, Hanbali school, as well as Shafi'i school, it is prohibited to buy gold online. Why? Because you make the transaction and you don't receive the item immediately. It takes a day or 2 or 3 or 4 or a week and so on and so forth. However, so many modern councils of fiqh see the Maliki school is a solution for so many modern transactions. So the Maliki school, Imam Malik rahimahullah, 1300 years ago, when he explained the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, yadan biyad, mathlan bimithl, he rahimahullah made an exception for if there are logistical reasons for the delay, logistical reasons. So Imam Malik rahimahullah, one of his fatawa, one of his students asked him about delaying the gold for a day or 2, and Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala gave a fatwa that is valid, and the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam doesn't include when there is logistical issues. The first part of the question is buying gold online, according to the vast majority of ulama, is prohibited. So with the exception of Maliki school. Yet the modern fiqh council, so many of them adopt the Maliki school when it comes to this particular issue. So if you would like to go with the Maliki school, that's fine, alhamdulillah, but don't be surprised if you hear ulama or scholars or people who believe that buying gold online is prohibited for the reasons. Not only that, these are the majority of the ulama, at least traditionally. Now in modern time, more and more ulama make more sense in the Maliki school. That's the first item. The second item, which is buying gold in installment. Again, for the first hadith, where the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa said, yadan biyad, mithlan bimithl, which means when you buy gold, has to be gold or silver or currency exchange, has to be in the spot. If it is the same, if it is gold with gold, has to be the same weight. If it is silver with silver, has to be the same weight. If it is currency, the same currency, dollar with dollar, has to be the same. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa says, فَإِذَا اخْتَلَفَتِ الْأَصْنَافِ فَبِيعُوا كَيْفَ شِئْتُمْ. If these categories change, then buy and sell as much as you want in terms of difference, as long as it is in the spot. So when you buy currency, dollar, let's say with riyal, it is okay to be the difference, right? As long as it is in the spot, instantly. Gold with silver, as long as it is in the spot. Currency with gold, as long as it is in the spot. So that is a requirement. Now the question, when you buy gold in installment, one of these conditions is not there. When you buy gold, you go to a store or online, here is your like piece of jewelry or a bar of gold. How much? Is it $10,000? You make a plan to pay it within, let's say, a year or two. Is this halal? What do you think, guys? Is this halal? The answer is no. You cannot buy gold in installment, and these are the unanimous agreement of the four schools of fiqh: the Hanafi school, the Maliki school, the Shafi'i school, and the Hanbali school. For a simple reason, for the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and because the value of gold fluctuate, right? Today the value of gold is X amount of dollar, next week is different, next month is different, and so on and so forth. So if you buy gold, has to be, if it is $1,000, you have to hand $1,000 and receive the item immediately, instantly. Some ulama gave a different solution for this issue, which is you can get a loan from a tajir. Let's say this item is $2,000. You cannot buy this item $2,000 for 1 year. You cannot do that. But what you can do instead, you can get a loan from the buyer or the seller, sorry, $2,000, and pay him for the item. And then there is a contract, there is a loan contract between you and the seller. It's not about, the payment is over. You have paid for the item, right? Now I cannot come to you and say, this is $2,000. I give you for the rest 1 year, every month $300. You cannot do that. But what you can do instead, so many modern ulama says, you can give me $1,000 loan, okay? And now we can have a aqd contract that is loan, and then I will purchase the item in the spot. And then I can pay back the loan in a year or two, more or less, depending on what we agreed on, right? This is, some ulama gave this solution to this issue, which is buying gold in installment. Another major mistake that so many, especially our mothers back home, aunties, and I'm sure in so many cultures do that, it's a very common mistake, which is they take one old piece of jewelry, like bracelet or necklace, they take it to the store, jewelry store, and they said, how much, and I like this item, let's say this item is $2,000, and my bracelet, let's say, is worth, they say $800. So you give them the piece, the old piece, and then you add the extra money. This is haram. Why? Because the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, when you buy gold with gold, it has to be mithlan bi mithl, the same weight. What you can do instead, you need to sell the item. Okay, this item is worth $800. Here is the item, give me $800. Now when it is in your hand, now you can purchase the other item, which is $2,000. You can pay $1,200 extra. But you cannot buy a piece of jewelry, part of the price is gold and part of the price is cash. You cannot do that. This is a very common mistake. So many people do that. So you cannot do that. You can purchase the item. Sorry, you can sell your item, let's say $800. You have to be in possession of your money, right? And then if you choose to purchase the new item, you can do that. But you cannot purchase an old bracelet or necklace and you are buying a new one and add cash difference. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Also, you cannot buy an old item, let's say the same amount of gram, let's say 100-gram bracelet, and you loved and you liked another bracelet which is less gram, let's say not 100, let's say 80 gram, and you give him the old one which is 100 gram and you receive 80 gram. You cannot do that. This is haram. Why? Because the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says it has to be the same weight. What you can do instead, sell your own item, with the cash you buy the new item. So when you purchase gold, it has to be in the spot and it has to be the same weight if you are purchasing gold with gold. It has to be the same. Anyway, there are so many more questions about the gold, but I think today that's enough. Is that clear about buying gold online? Is there any question about buying gold online? Or there is another one, inshallah ta'ala, also, since it is about gold, I will go about it very quickly, which is investing in gold. So many young brothers ask me this question, investing in gold. Like, as we know, there is stocks, there is also gold stocks, right? There is something called exchange trade, what is it? Yeah, ETF. ETF. So many people ask me about ETF. The answer to this, can you invest in ETF? The answer is yes, with very, very major condition. As long as it is backed by physical gold. As long as the company that you are investing in, it is backed by actual physical bars of gold. And if you'd like to get your gold, you have the access to it. You have possession of it. You cannot purchase or invest in a gold in the air somewhere. It doesn't exist. So and there are companies who are backed by actual physical bars of gold. So ETF, so many people who ask about ETF, it is halal as long as it is backed by physical bars of gold. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. Any question? Yes, Brother Khalid. Yeah, credit card. That's another issue because credit card, it takes time for the payment. This is part of the argument. But according to the Maliki school that we are saying, as far as the first question is concerned, which is buying gold online, according to the Maliki school, because it is logistical issues, so according to the Maliki school, it is halal, even with credit card. Even with credit card. But if you'd like to be in the safe side and you don't want to purchase gold online, know that this is the madhab of 3 schools out of 4. Hanafi school, Hanbali school, as well as Shafi'i school. But there is manduha, there is some rukhsa in the Maliki school. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. Barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.